Let us all welcome and listen to Miss Eileen Gutierrez. Eileen is our sales manager for Microsoft Business. She leads the team and keeps the partnership with Microsoft and Rhipe. And this event was made possible through her help. Let's have some applause reactions for Miss Eileen Gutierrez. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Laylord, for the warm introduction. I can still see some people are coming in. So thank you very much for your time this morning. So yeah, as Laylord has mentioned, my name is Eileen Gutierrez, and I lead the Microsoft business unit in Field Data. So this morning, we will share with you how Microsoft and its partners like Field Data help customers address security and compliance. There's been a lot of other ways by which organizations like you are addressing compliance and security, and top of the head is always about passwords. Time immemorial, we do passwords, we keep passwords so difficult so that it will be impossible for breaches to come up. But most recently, Microsoft has invested into security, and I'm not very sure if any one of you has heard multi-factor authentication. And because surprisingly, there's a few or a handful of our customers who have activated or turned on MFA. Did you know that MFA is actually part of the online services that you are subscribed to, M365, for instance, and that it can be turned on for added security. So we want to help you turn it on, use it, and secure the organization's data and infrastructure. I'm not sure if some of you, or maybe a few of you, have already returned to work on a hybrid arrangement, because field data has not as of the moment. We are still working from home. So we knew that there are customers who have returned to work and are slowly bringing back the work from home to their offices. So the more that we need to be prepared of how to do hybrid. So one day you'll be at home working, the next day you'll be commuting and be in the office. So that switch in the mode we do, or the manner we do our work, needs to be secured. As we continue to navigate, no, as we continue to navigate the new normal way of working. So the new normal way are different from one organization to another. So one organization could be doing full work from home. Everybody works from home. Nobody in the office except the guard. Other organizations will do it hybrid. In field data, we plan to do it hybrid, but we're not doing it as yet. Maybe maybe when we achieve, herd immunity in terms of vaccination, then maybe leadership, to which I belong, will probably reconsider our position in bringing back uh, our employees back in the office. But as we navigate the new normal, digital transformation will continue. It will continue to reshape our businesses and its models. And with digital transformation comes a lot of vulnerabilities. You know, vulnerabilities in terms of, you know, um, phishing, in terms of breaches, in terms of, these things that are being prevalent these days. So thankfully, we have security measures that we can offer and we can help you with. This morning and ahead of him taking the screen, I'm very, very happy to be working again with Melvin Wong. He's from the partner organization Rhipe, who works with field data in delivering the services that are needed by our customers in achieving the set goals of your individual organizations. This is already the maybe fourth or fifth time that I have asked Melvin to do the session for us, and I'm very happy that he's doing it again. I do encourage you to put in your questions so that Melvin will have, he'll invest time to answer later. With that, I won't take it so much. I'll be on the session also together with you. So let's learn together. Let's learn together, and I'll see you throughout the session. Have a very, very good morning, everyone.
Thank you so much, Miss Eileen. And now let us have some applause reactions for Melvin.
Thank you. Okay. Well, yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining the session. And thanks for Miss Eileen and team to have me here today again. So, yeah, again, my name is Melvin. Right, I'm actually a pre-sales technical specialist from Rhipe, Malaysia. Yeah, so I mainly actually focus on the Azure Public Cloud services and some part of the modern workplace as well. So today I'll be actually talking to you guys about the Microsoft security. All right, I believe that most of you I've already heard how Microsoft is actually stepping up on their security sales play, right? So I think um, there will be some good takeaway for you guys by the end of this sessions. All right. So yeah, without any delay, so maybe let's start on this part here. So I guess everyone knows that we are now in a pandemic era, right? Where economics are in terms of is in the sense of a very uncertain condition. So most of these businesses they actually face very much constrained resources as they cannot navigate through new business challenges, and of course, virtually overnight, most of these companies they actually have to kind of accelerate their digital transformation. This would actually ensures workers' productivity and also to respond to a rapidly shifting customer expectation. So as you know, the technology, business models, and also the overall landscape of workplace is actually evolving. The way that people work also change, and we no longer expect to access the mirror of your corporate resources solely from the office or on the company-owned devices. So if you look at it, there are many ways that every company is now a technology company. Right? So they are actually providing services for their customers and employees, right? In a very digitalized way, and most of your security teams are also charged with protecting an ever-growing digital footprint, right? They are now facing more added pressures to cut costs as well. So to actually secure the environment, most of these businesses must develop a new digital capabilities to actually break down data silos. And also, the data and information are the lifeblood of most of this transformation. So they are also increasingly attract cyber criminal activities, right? You see a lot of hackings, phishing that is actually happening nowadays. So traditional securities approaches have actually failed us, right? And for this, you actually need to look into a hardened parameter, uh, something like your privileged corporate network, which is at best is only a psychological security blanket. But the fact is, it actually doesn't hold, right? So most of these siloed on-premise tools, the data sets, they actually hinders visibility, correlations, and automations. So by the thought of this, you are supposed to think about adding more tools to typically make you less secure um, due to compatibility issues, assumption about your coverage. So on top of all this, and probably because of these issues here, the cost and number of breaches increase every year. All right. So the government will actually keep trying to keep up, especially with the regulatory rules that are constantly changing, and the cost of compliance are also increasing as well. So if you look at how Microsoft does things, is that you will find there's a note of 750 regulatory bodies around the world that actually release more than 200 updates per day. So keeping up is not actually an easy thing. So thing is that you, you can't actually be compliant without first being secure, right? So everything starts with security. So taken together on this, all the trends that we have actually outlined actually represent a shared challenges to the IT security, right? Most of the organizations will find themselves responsible for protecting a crisscrossing web of technologies, and many of which they may not be outright owned or even managed by the companies. And with so many devices, different user groups, and not much, sorry, it's so much of corporate data, and also what you have is a traditional perimeter-based security model that simply can't keep up with the sophisticated technology nowadays, and of course the threats that you're seeing. So neither they can actually provide the visibility and controls that they need to secure today's highly distributed and hyper-mobile environment, right? The thing is that we can no longer believe that everything behind your corporate firewall is actually safe. So we basically need a security model that is better to adapt to the reality of the world that we live in right now. So how do we do it is that to really adapt to this new reality, you actually need a new set of principles. Okay, so fortunately, the Zero Trust provide a modern security framework to manage the complexities of security. So this is how Microsoft is actually committed to a holistic Zero Trust approach. So the first thing is that if you look at verifying explicitly, all right. So rather than trust users or device that implicitly because they are on the corporate network. So we want to assume that the request originates from an uncontrolled network. All right, we should also authenticate and authorize based on all the available data points, including user identity, location, device health, service, or even workload, and of course, data classification and anomalies, right? Then we look at use least privilege access. All right. So rather than providing any authenticated user broad access to any corporate resources, we should grant access to people only when they need it, for as long as they need it, and for a specific task at hand. So least privilege access grants just in time and just enough access with a risk-based adaptive policies that protect both your data and productivity. Then we look at the assumed breach. All right. So we should actually operate with the expectation that the breach will occur anytime, all right? It could occur any time of the day, all right? So we can actually apply techniques such as micro-segmentations and use real-time analytics to detect attacks more quickly. And this always vigilant mindset help us to be proactive to soften the impact of breaches when they do occur. All right, so you have to be prepared. So because we cannot believe that organization actually needs to embrace a zero trust. So Microsoft actually built it into the heart of their products and services. And their integrated solutions offers built-in zero trust control that you can actually implement in your security model at scale, which can be across the entire digital state. So yeah, now let us probably just explore on how the Microsoft security technology can help your businesses. Okay. So by harnessing the power of a Microsoft Cloud, we actually offer customer a security solution that actually cuts through the complexity, the siloed point of solutions, which actually empowers your security teams and also to help to deliver a frictionless built-in experience so that your employees can actually get their jobs done. All right, we built the technology with these three foundations elements. So first one being built-in experience that work across platform. Okay, so your business actually needs to navigate this period of flux, right? Now more than ever, your employees actually needs to be just as productive from a remote location as they are actually in an office. Everyone is working from home right now. So a secure environment actually allows that to actually happens. All right, and they are very much committed to delivering this seamless experience and built-in protection that actually work across platforms. So the approach is actually to to the security is actually to simplify the experience for end users and to ensure everyone gets their job done securely, regardless of where they work and what kind of tools they actually use. And we look at AI and automations to secure your future. All right. So tackling a challenge as complex as a cybercrime actually requires a continuous innovation and a whole new playbook. Right. Microsoft Security Solutions arms your team with ever-evolving cloud scale AI and also the automation to cut through the noise and to eliminate the repetitive tasks, which also enable them to focus quickly and accurately on what's matter. So they actually spend more time on the issues of the cyber attacks, right? They know what to do with it, so they don't actually waste more time just to come up with an investigation or even to spend time to even figure out where to start, right? So all these things are actually being done for you through the cloud scale AI. Then on the third point here is integrated across people, devices, apps, and data. So if we're going to help you to protect your most important assets, our technology actually needs to work in the real world. Okay, so Microsoft solutions integrate across the ecosystem by connecting identities, devices, your applications, and any cloud to help you close the gap in the coverage in terms to reduce the risk and also to simplify your portfolio. So these three principles set the standard for all the security technologies that we offer to our customer. So this is a standard that we are continuously working to raise. So again, we have actually built in experience, right, intelligence, and also integration into the security technology that we offer. So that actually shows up in the Microsoft investment in the four broad areas. So if you look at the identity and access management, so the vast majority of breaches begins with a compromised password. Right? They are the single weakest link in most of the security strategies. So we start with a strong identity and access management to protect your resources. Then second, the threat protection. So our customers consistently express their deep concern about high volume of data and also the alerts, as well as the increasing sophistications and the impacts of attack. So by prioritizing the integrated and automated threat protection, we actually help you to meet the demand for advanced security that works in the real world. Okay, so on the information protection, so our customers also tell us about the difficulties that they have to holistically and consistently protect to as to govern their informations in their workplace or their company service. So 64% of the organizations actually report that employees externally are sharing the PII data and other sensitive business data without encryption. So this is very, very important concerns that everyone should look into because now everyone is actually working from home. They are actually sharing all sort of data online, right? They could be sending information through emails. They could be actually downloading data into their mobile devices. So all these things are actually a concern. So we have actually made the information protection a priority to protect the customer sensitive data wherever it lives or travel. So you can actually work with confidence. So on the cloud security portion, so as most of the enterprise actually move more of your workloads to the cloud, so it has never been more important for you to protect your multi-cloud resources. It doesn't matter it's actually from Azure or Google Cloud or even AWS, even like from application like Slack or to Salesforce, right? We've actually built in comprehensive cloud security to protect every layer of your resources. So regardless of any cloud or cloud app that you use. So there are integrations and also plugins that it is actually able to bridge into all these different applications. So if you look at this portion here, so within each of the solution area, you actually need to manage multiple security categories to actually effectively reduce your risk, right? So the average enterprise, they kind of employ at least about 35 to 70 plus vendors for their security. All right, these very large numbers of vendors application that you need to manage. So to manage that complexity, that actually can lead to a lot of gaps in coverage. It could actually lead to limited visibility or even fragmented experience. And in contrast, Microsoft offers a unified approach that actually leverage both the best in cloud depth and also breadth. And by bridging these categories together in one solution that natively integrates individual layers of security, organizations can actually improve end user experience It can actually decrease your security operation inefficiencies, and also it reduce the risk of costly data breaches. So additionally, this can actually help to significantly reduce your procurement costs. All right. So as I was talking about the various applications that you actually need to manage across all the vendors. So if you look at this section here, we actually look into trying to consolidate all the disparate products and also vendors with Microsoft security solutions. And this actually not only helps to provide better security outcomes, it actually helps to reduce costs. So, for example, if you purchase each of these individual products, so we actually estimate it would cost an organization about $30 per user. Okay, and based on an average, this is actually based on an average list price that is available on the web. So on the right, you can actually see that our Microsoft 365 E3 customers who tap into the Microsoft 365 E5 security, they will only pay about an average of $12 per user at least price. So there is an actually a savings up to 60%, right? That doesn't just include the potential of additional savings on deployments and also integrations. So not only does the Microsoft 365 E5 security includes the capabilities that is listed in the multi-vendor example, we also provide additional value such as the threat vulnerability management, the end user educations, user and entity behavioral analytics, and also forensic tool. All right. So let's probably just dive a little bit deeper into our security technology and what it can do for your organization. All right. We'll start with the identity and access management. So again, the identity is actually the foundation of security. You must really protect your identities to protect your data and resources. So Microsoft offers an comprehensive identity and access management platform, both in the cloud with the Azure Active Directory, which is the Azure AD. And of course, with the growing importance of mobility and the transition to the cloud, we have actually built in identity solutions that help to keep your employees and also external users productive and also secure while helping your organization stay compliant and protected against threat. So the first point is being that the Azure Active Directory, you can actually use it to protect access to resources and also data with a strong authentication and a risk-based access policy. Then you can also provide a fast and easy sign-in experience to keep your users productive, which also reduce time of managing password and also increase the adoption, right? And then third, you can use it to manage your employees and partners' identity from the cloud via a single control plane, right? Which actually improve the visibility and control, right? So all the things are actually in the cloud. You don't actually have to go back to your office just to access a server, just to set up the access, right? You can do this via the cloud. And fourth, you can also ensure the only right people get access to the right resource in a timely manner to help you maintain compliance. So based on the Microsoft research, we have actually seen about 300% increase in identity attacks over the past year, all right? And it actually makes it more critical than ever to build an in the identity-driven security practice, which is based upon a strong authentication and also intelligent adaptive access policy. So again, passwords are the weakest link in a security chain. So without any additional verification, they are a single point of failure. All right, anyone can actually get to hold your password and try to access any of your data. So again, so please pay pay attention to this part. So it is a very strong concern that everyone should have. So we strongly believe that if you do just one thing to help yourself, help to protect yourself, you should also turn on your multi-factor authentication, which the Miss Eileen have actually mentioned earlier. This actually can help to prevent 99.9% of the identity attacks. So to minimize your users' friction and also ensure the MFA adoption, it prompts user for MFA only when necessary through adaptive access policy. All right. This whole security is actually built into the Microsoft Conditional Access Intelligent Policy Engine, and is specifically to satisfy the needs of an access-based policy access systems. So again, this robust control will allow you to define a specific condition on how user authenticate and how they gain access to apps and data. So you can actually customize and manage the automated policies. Of course, you can get a reporting on all these policies that you apply on each sign in. So Microsoft Conditional Access actually enables you to enforce the core principle of zero trust. So it's basically like never trust, but always verify. So while you actually use the Microsoft Conditional Access to protect resources from suspicious requests, the Azure AD will actually identify the protection that goes further by providing an ongoing risk detection and also remediating suspicious user accounts. So the identity protection keeps you informed about suspicious user and sign-in behavior in your environment that is running 24/7. Okay, identity protection basically have an automated response that is proactively preventing compromised identities from being abused. So again, we actually hone our identity protection engine through the machine learning that takes in more than 71 terabytes of identity-related security signals. So as we have actually mentioned with MFA, the end user security experience only work when they minimize user friction to ensure the wide adoption and maximum productivity. So again, a seamless Azure AD user experience start with passwordless authentication that to all your organization resources so that the users never have to touch or even remember a password. So actually further breaking your exposure to your weakest security link. So the passwordless Microsoft Authentications experience actually includes things like the Microsoft Authenticator. All right, this is actually for a greatest flexibility, convenience, and also the cost. We actually recommend that you actually use the Microsoft Authenticator mobile app for your two-factor needs. And the Authenticator also supports a biometric such as a fingerprint or a Face ID, and also the push notification and one-time passcodes for any Azure AD connected app. Right, so you can actually download the Authenticator at no cost from the Apple or the Android App Store, and it's actually free to use as an MFA solution with the Azure AD. Then we also have things like the Windows Hello. All right, so it's actually a great built-in experience on PC. We actually recommend using the Windows Hello. It uses your face or fingerprints to actually sign in automatically. And once you are signed in to your computer, the users can actually seamlessly access apps that is connected to the Azure AD without using any of the password. And then we also have an item such as the FIDO2, all right, is actually a security key that is now available from several of the partners like Ubico, Fortinet Technologies, or HID Global in a USB form, all right. It's actually there are also some FIDO2 devices that are NFC enabled, or it could be a biometric key as well. Right, there are already more than 150 million customers already using a passwordless authentication, and this number will continue to grow as they embrace the passwordless future. So access is actually easy to grant, right? But it's also very hard to track. So you actually need the ability to trace who have access to which resources and quickly revoke access when it's no longer needed. So as you know, that there are some companies that when they create the users and then to the point that the users actually leave the company, they sort of forget to remove the access. This actually leave a loophole where the users who have already resigned will be still able to actually log into any of the resources. So these kind of access need to be revoked and need to be monitored. All right, you should be able to actually apply this control to both internal and also external users. So again, the Azure AD identity governance actually has been built into the Azure AD to either protect, to monitor, and also the auditing the access to critical asset. So specifically, it will actually help with these scenarios, such as ensuring that only authorized users will have access to based on the policy that you set. And it actually provides employees and also guest users with a workflow to request access. And it also established a regular access review to validate if users will still need the access to their resources. Okay, it can also establish a very effective control with a time-limited access for a privileged role assignment. So at its core, the identity governance actually ensure that the right people have the right access to the right resources, and you also have the ability to revoke the access when it's no longer required. So the join, move, leave process to manage your user identities is critical for a greater security and for your productivity of your employees and also your new hires. So you can actually automate the identity lifecycle based on any of your HR events and write back the relevant user data to those HR data stores, right? You can also kind of automate the access to your apps and data, such as provisioning and also deprovisioning of user account in the SaaS apps. Now we will look at in the threat protection, right? So that just now I've actually shown you how we actually secure identities and use authentication. So now we actually discussed on how we further secure your organization from today's evolving threat landscape with the Microsoft threat protection solution. So from most of the numerous customers conversation that and also our own experience, we actually see there are three main challenges to securing an organization, right? First thing is that the organizations does not have the right security capabilities for a world without perimeters. And because employees nowadays can work from anywhere and almost any device, which means that security must be designed for any users working from anywhere and using any device. Then point number two is that most organizations will often have disconnected points of solutions, which puts the onus on them to accurately stitch their disparate signals together to determine the full scope and also impact of a threat. This correlation is actually tedious, difficult, and also often ineffective. Right? Microsoft is trying to put everything together so that you have all these threat protection in a single pane. Right. So the top point is being that organization is also struggling because no matter how much they actually spend on security, they often don't have the resource that they need and also can't keep pace with the constantly changing threat landscape. So again, in today's complex organization, so most of the Microsoft industry leading threat protection solutions, it will help to defend across a modern attack vectors. And this threat protection actually span through three major areas to empower your organization defenders by putting the right tools and also intelligence in the hands of the right people. So as you know, the nature of attacks is also constantly evolving. So the way we think about defense must also keep up. So one thing is that we have to empower your defenders, right? They are your security operators, right? So powerful automatic mitigation and artificial intelligence tools remediate damage and also block attacks based on the rules that are being set up. So by responding to automatically to common threats and those breaches, your security professional and also the defender can focus on attacks and also your organizational goals. And if we look at the point number two, to protect your assets. So Microsoft Threat Protection Solutions defends the modern endpoint, the organizational data, and also the attack vectors across all your business environment. Right. This includes your user identity, your data, your devices, infrastructures, and also network. And this protection provides an unmatched breadth and scope of security. So the third point is being gaining insights, right? These actually leverage an unparalleled scalability pattern recognition and also a signal processing that detects threat at speed and to keep up with a modern threat environment. So with all the security professional time and the resources that is often stretched, the Microsoft powerful analytics, the intelligence, and also response tool will empower your defender to resolve threat before they actually do any havoc in your system and your environment. Now, also to empower your defenders, Microsoft cloud-based threat protection solutions, it also helps to connect the dots across vector to deliver rich and actionable insights that strengthen your organization security. So it is actually built on an expensive cloud ecosystem that powers scalability, the pattern recognition, the signal processing to actually use to detect the threat at speed. All right, it also correlates this signal accurately to help you understand how the threat entered your environment, what it affected, how it's currently impacting your organization. So it's actually backed by a massive volume of threat signals that we process daily to provide meaningful insights. And it correlates signals to determine the full scope and also the impact of threat across your enterprise. So again, our threat protection solution consists of these solutions on the screen. So first thing is being the Microsoft Threat Protection. This is a best-in-class product that enables you to proactively hunt across your Microsoft 365 data to search for breaches or to gain a better understanding of your data to build custom detection or remediation tools, right? The threat protection also enables you to visualize and remediate across your Microsoft 365 environment in a single integrated dashboard. Then we have the Azure Security Center, all right? So this Azure Security Center actually provides an industry-leading threat intelligence to help you gain deep insights into your cloud workloads and also help to protect against threats. It also provides a competitive cloud-native cloud workloads protection platform for Windows and Linux servers, containers, serverless workloads that have been widely adopted across the Azure and hybrid customers. Then on the top, we will look at the Azure Sentinel. So finally, this is something that we recognize as a system that actually protects your enterprise. That means more than just having insights into threat to your Microsoft asset. You actually need to protect every single asset. So many customers have a security information and event management solution for this very reason. So, but as you know, this kind of solution system the implementation have not always been very successful due to their significant on-premise costs and also challenges in prioritizing the large volume of signal that they collect. Right, that's why we actually reimagine the whole SIEM, also the security orchestration, automation and response tools to introduce Microsoft Azure Sentinel. This is a new cloud-native solution that provides intelligent security analytics at a cloud scale for your entire enterprise. All right. The Sentinel also make it easy to collect security data across your entire hybrid organization, from devices, users, apps, servers, or any cloud, and uses the power of artificial intelligence to ensure that you identify the real threats quickly. And at the same time, Sentinel also offers a limitless cloud scale and speed and scale automatically to address your needs. All right. So again, when we look at the threat protection, so this is something that is integrated. All right, is an integrated cross-domain threat protection, detection, and also a response solution. So it actually provides the organization with the ability to prevent, to detect, investigate, and also remediate cross-domain attacks with their within their Microsoft 365 environment. So the threat protection automatically detects breaches across domains, and in automating the normalization, the analysis, and also the correlation process to turn silent alerts into an end-to-end incidents with context and also timelines of how an attack have entered and how it is spread across the environments. So it also helps you to proactively hunt across your Microsoft 365 data, searching for breaches, and gaining a better understanding of your data to help you to build your custom detection and remediation tools. And finally, the Microsoft Threat Protection also enables you to visualize and also remediate across your Microsoft 365 environment from a single integrated dashboard. So let me just let you know how these are being built into the solution, right? The threat protection is actually on a product which to help protect each of the major parameters. As you can see, the identity protection is actually covered by the Azure Active Directory AAD. You have the identity protection, the Azure Advanced Threat Protection, and also the Microsoft Cloud App Security. Then on endpoint, you have the security that is being provided by the Microsoft Defender ATP. On the apps, it's actually protected by the Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection and also the Cloud App Security. On the emails and documents, they are secured through the Office 365 Advanced Threat Protection. So when you actually integrate these products, your security parameters become even stronger. All right, it actually leverage raw signals data from individual domains, such as your user identity, endpoints, applications, emails, and also any collaboration tools. It will actually go on a process of normalizing the data at the point of creation, and the data is being analyzed and low-level signal that may otherwise be missed, as well as individual alerts that are fused into the incident, giving a complete view of an attack that can be responded to its own processes. All right, the powerful workloads and also AI auto heal affected assets and the advanced hunting capabilities means that the organization can actually use their proprietary knowledge to uncover breaches and also customize the responses. Now we look into the information protection. So we've just now actually discussed on the importance of protecting your organization from external threats, but it's also just as important to protect your own sensitive data. So This actually includes things like your intellectual properties and your customers' PII data, as well as your employees create and shares information both within your company and outside of your corporate boundaries. So before we go into how Microsoft can help, so let's explore these three underlying challenges that you may need to solve first, right? So the first point is being that you need to discover the sensitive data that resides in your hybrid environment. You need to understand its usage and then design a protection plan based on those insights. Then you also need to pay a very special attention to how your data leave your company from multiple egress points, especially with employees working from home, and how to prevent the data loss and also oversharing. Then you also need to understand the risk from insiders, employees, or vendors who may act maliciously, such as intentionally steal your intellectual property, turn off security controls, harassing others at work, or even cause an event risk that is likely to broadly sharing what they are actually working on. Right. So Microsoft Information Protection and the Insiders Risk Management solution helps you to solve each of these challenges. So again, we've discussed on how those information protection would work. So let's start with your first challenge, which is knowing and protecting your sensitive data that resides across your hybrid environment, right? So this is actually a bedrock of our solution, and is our comprehensive set of automatic data classification methods. So especially we notable that it's actually our classifiers that leverage machine learning to automatically identify and classify sensitive data content at scale using the pattern matching method. And this may be content you would not easily find otherwise, such as patents, contracts, or even resumes. Then on the second point, once you actually know your data, you can actually benefit from using our built-in labeling and also protection experience in your core productivity solutions. Application like your Words, Excel, or PowerPoint, or services like SharePoint, Exchange, or Power BI actually utilize these core workloads instead of a bolt-on plugin experience. This not only lowers your cost by eliminating deployment and also maintaining additional software, all right? It also delivers better performance by not having to load add-ons every time a user launch an app or a services. So on the third point is that the Microsoft's information protection development platform also further extend our classification, the labeling, and also the protection experience in a consistent way to most of the non-Microsoft application and services and file types. So by using the SDK that is more than 200 plus industry partners that, to create a further customer value, such as enabling users to open encrypted PDF files in an Edge browser, or even a Adobe Acrobat Reader, or allowing them to label and protect CD artifacts. Right, these are the two that are approximately 50 product integration available since GA of the SDK in November 2018. Right, we have actually covered the information protection for your productivity apps and services, but we have also built encryption into your Microsoft 365 app services, as well as data protection into Azure. So this additional layer of protection is available to you on top of what we have just discussed when you store your data in Azure. So the encryption built into Azure protects your data while at rest, in transit, and when it's in use. So now that you have actually understand how you what's your sensitive data as you design your protection plan, you also need to pay special attention to the risk of external data loss. So as your employees access data from multiple devices and location and engage with multiple external business partners, this touch point may actually expose you to the risk of oversharing or leaks, whether accidental or intentional. Right. So as part of our information protection solution, we actually offers a data loss prevention capabilities. And these capabilities automatically classify your data and apply the correct information protection policies across your on-premise and cloud collaboration environment in a way that it is consistent, fully transparent, and auditable. And this ensures that sensitive information will only use within its approved regulatory and internal policy security context. Any actions outside of this context will be automatically be blocked, which prevent accidental or inappropriate sharing of information. Right. So data loss prevention's deep integration within the security stack creates a holistic and clearly differentiated information protection solution in the market, because it provides a full control and auditability of policy creation to policy enforcement to even incident remediation and user education. So the classifications engine for a DLP is common across the Microsoft offerings. Right, it is natively incorporating 90 plus and sensitive information types, and it's also support the creation of custom sensitive information types. Right, any businesses organization that deploys the DLP can therefore address the standard and bespoke sensitive data policy requirements in a consistent method, and regardless of any of these policy that is being implemented in the cloud or on premises. Right, because these comprehensive data loss prevention capabilities, they are universally available in the Microsoft 365 desktop apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. And of course, services like Teams, Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive. And of course, these capabilities are also being extended to third-party services like Box, Salesforce, and many others. So again, so the data loss prevention also enable you to automatically block the sharing of chat messages, emails, and documents that are containing sensitive information. It also ensures that users remain fully productive and aware of policy violation via the policy tips and also the notification, which explain why the content they shared was blocked with specific compliance violation and how they can address the issue in the future. And of course, it also supports provision for activities deemed to be non-compliant by an applicable policy that needs to be allowed due to business reason, while limiting the workflow of interruptions. And of course, the business justification can be reviewed post-event to ensure that it is appropriate. Now, the data infrastructures, the application build, and also the run-in in the clouds, they are actually foundational building blocks for modern businesses. So as most of the usage of cloud services continue to grow, the cyber risk and also threat evolve alongside with the growing demand, right? So Microsoft is in a very unique position as a cloud solution provider and also a security vendor. We sort of like leveraging most of the global cloud scale, of course, with the trillions of signals and also deep expertise to build industry-leading security solution to protect cloud resources. And we basically developed a solution that protects every layer of a cloud across the SaaS, the IaaS, and the PaaS, regardless of which cloud or which cloud app that you are using. So doesn't matter, it's actually from AWS to Azure to GCP, Slack, Salesforce, Box, anything to a line of business app. We've actually built a comprehensive security to protect your cloud cross-cloud environment, right? So we've actually taken a threefold approach to the cloud security. The first one is being that our cloud access security broker, it actually provides a centralized approach to control and also protect the flow of course, and also access to the critical data across any cloud app in your security organization. So we do this on Microsoft third-party or even custom apps, of all which are critical to your businesses. Then on the second point is the cloud security posture management and also cloud workload protection platform. It's a solution that actually provides an approach to realize an integrated visibility, posture management, and also protection across cloud. Whether it's actually Azure, AWS, this solution will help you to ensure a secure cloud environment. Then, of course, application security for developers. We also provide tools in the cloud from development to operations that actually empowers you to build a secure application faster and also to ensure your data is protected through its life cycle. Now, the Microsoft Cloud Edge Security, all right, this is something that is recently being recognized by the Gartner as a leader in the cloud access security broker. This part of the Gartner's Magic Quadrant is actually a multi-mode CASB that delivers a new generation of security solution that is essential to any modern security strategy. All right, the increasing number of cloud apps and services and the different ways users can access them. It also provides a challenge for IT departments to ensure secure access and protect the flow of critical data with a consistent set of controls. So the data from our CASB shows that, that in the average enterprise, the user leverage more than 1,000 cloud apps services and half of which go unmonitored by the IT. This also means that the apps go unmanaged, which leave the organization exposed to security and compliance risks. And Microsoft Cloud Access Security Broker give you a rich visibility into your shadow IT by helping you to discover and also control cloud apps, enable you to identify and also remediate cloud native attacks, allows you to control how your sensitive data travels and also get used across your all your cloud apps to enhance the security posture of your critical apps and resources. Whether you use Microsoft or non-Microsoft app, we actually have you covered. So the Azure Security Center continuously assess the security state of your cloud resources across your virtual machines, networks, apps, and also data services. It even monitors server workloads running in the other clouds and on-premise data centers. It's a cross-cloud capabilities that actually helps you visualize your security state and also quickly get insights on your configured security controls. Right, the Azure Security Score is actually the core of the ASC security posture, where it provides insights into your current state and also recommend action to help you prioritize steps that you can take to improve your security posture. Right, this scoring system it actually offers a best practice guidance and recommendation that actually helps you to prevent common misconfigurations such as exposure of sensitive resources to the internet, the lack of encryption, uninstalled updates, or even a missing firewall for your cloud workloads. So ASC actually continuously discover new resources as they deploy across your workloads and assess whether they are configured according to the best security practices. And the system will actually flag any anomalies and also create a prioritized list of recommended fixes that you need to protect your services and your machines. Of course, it also allows you to set your policies to run on management groups across subscription and also even for entire tenant. It also helps you to perform the hardening tasks that we can recommend as a security best practice, also implement them across your machines, your data services and apps. And this includes managing and also enforcing your security policies while making sure that your Azure virtual machines, your non-Azure servers, and also the Azure PaaS services that meet compliance requirements, because most of these securities are being built into the Azure Security Centers, and the policies are on top of the Azure policy controls. You actually get the full range and also flexibility of a world-class policy solutions. So today you can actually use the Azure Security Center to actually receive a recommendation not only from Microsoft, but also from the existing partner solutions that are part of a Microsoft Intelligent Security Association. The ASC is also a simple onboarding flow that can connect your existing solutions, which also enable you to view your security posture recommendation in a single place, and also help you to run a unified reports and leverage all of the ASC capabilities against both built-in and also partner recommendations. Okay, so as I've actually shared in the beginning, that our integrated set of solutions and the capabilities offers built-in zero trust control that makes implementing zero trust security models across your organization achievable at scale. So let's walk through how all of these pieces work together. So at the heart of your zero trust strategy, you actually need a policy engine to make a dynamic access decision for trusted user at a critical checkpoints. Right, this is for access to networks and your apps and data. So our identity and access management solution actually enable your organization to verify users and devices explicitly with rich signal, such as a device health and also sign-in risk. This is actually help to make informed decision based on the access policy. Then our information protection and cloud security solutions, it actually helps to enforce decision and protect resources across the entire environment in real time. Then finally, with our threat protection, it actually provides intelligence to further strengthen your security posture and help with the detection and remediation of threat using automation and AI. So taken together, the Microsoft intelligent approach ensures that only the right people are getting the right level of access across your organization and elevating both security and also the end user productivity. So we have discussed on how Microsoft Identity and Access Management, threat protection, information protection, and also the security technology uh, can actually help to improve your organization security programs and to support your zero trust journey, and also at the same time helping you to reduce your overall risk, right? So those advanced capabilities provide a critical check against the emerging threat landscape, but only if your security teams can use them in an effective and efficient way. So we actually talk about posture management in cloud security section. So it is a valuable next step to strengthen your security environment against threat. So Microsoft Security Score also give you the visibility and guidance that you will need to learn how to better secure your environment and to take full advantage of your Microsoft security products. It is the perfect guide to help you identify your current state and to plot out a plan to take it to the next level. So if you look at the secure score, right, it actually quickly assess your risk exposure and also the security state across your entire digital enterprise, and uses a scoring system that actually gamifies the process of improving your security posture. The more controls you have implemented, the more the score you will actually reach, the more score that you actually reach. And with Microsoft 365 and also Azure, you also have access to a broad suite of security technologies and a vast range of control options to help you better secure your environment. And to help you better take advantage of the controls available to you, Secure Score actually provides a threat prioritized guidance that will enable you to take prioritized approach to improving your posture. And of course, machine learning stacks ranks each recommendation based on the latest threat intelligence, which helps you to assess the security benefit to your environment. And of course, the security score actually makes it easy to determine which controls have been fully implemented, the risk that they mitigate, the potential user impact, and with the new planning and also collaboration workflow that you'll be able to drive posture improvement in the process. So what's the right score for your organization, if you may ask? And well, you actually may hope that you will achieve 100% score. Probably it will not be that realistic because for many organizations with a legacy infrastructure or application requirements, uh, it may be due to an incompatible with certain type of security control. So they may not be a way for you to achieve 100% score, but you can make it to as close as you can by going through all these scorings. So and also finally, we also look at the security administrators, right? Um, this actually helps the administrator to drive productive posture management discussion with the leadership or the CISO. We actually includes metrics and a trends view so that your administrator can actually report projected statuses and also take credit for the great work they have actually achieved. And additionally, anyone just starting with Microsoft Secure Score can also use the tools to present the importance of posture management and drive ongoing efforts to boost your posture over time. So let me just share a video as to how all these security measures are being practices. From there, I hope there will be some takeaways that you can learn from. Let me just show this video to you guys.
To keep business moving forward, employees today need to access their bank's resources and applications from many locations and devices, including personally owned devices. Spencer, the managing director of investment banking for Woodgrove Bank, is working on an IPO deal that includes information about Fabricam. To access his documents from home, he needs to sign into the bank's Microsoft 365. This is the first time he's signing in for the day, so he has asked for additional verification to confirm his identity. He can do that with the Microsoft Authenticator app on his phone, having already gained access via a 6-digit PIN or a biometric signature enrolled in the mobile device. Providing extra verification, also referred to as multi-factor authentication or MFA, is easy and painless, but protects the bank. If Spencer's password is compromised, a would-be attacker will still need Spencer's phone with his PIN or biometric information to access the company's files. Many of the bank's documents require different levels of security classification. Ensuring that the right people have the right access to the right information requires controls that grant access only to resources that are necessary for their role or department. Spencer has been copied on an email from legal with new information on the IPO deal with a link to a document saved in SharePoint. He attempts to open it, but since it is located on the legal team's site, he doesn't automatically have access to it. Even as one of the legal team grants Spencer access, Azure AD is confirming Spencer meets the conditions required to access this document. Conditional access policies enable your IT team to assess risk in near real time and allow dynamic access to resources as roles and responsibilities or conditions change. This proactive control can help you ensure users do not have blanket access to the bank's resources. Depending on profiles regulating aspects such as time, location, and device health, conditional access can restrict or even block access to apps and data, particularly if these access patterns are suspicious or very different from a user's normal behavior. Spencer is on the way to a meeting and wants to catch up on email while in transit. Previously, Spencer had downloaded the Microsoft Outlook mobile app and configured his Woodgrove Bank email account using MFA on his phone to verify his identity. Since the bank uses Microsoft Intune to manage mobile devices and mobile applications, Spencer can install work applications on his personal phone while keeping the bank's information secured, allowing him to be productive while away from the office. With access to his email, Spencer begins to read through new messages. One email provides feedback on a draft document regarding the IPO plan. The document is marked confidential. Spencer can read the confidential document, but is prevented from saving it to his phone. The bank can help secure access to sensitive data on personal devices by restricting actions users can take, such as copy-paste, save, and view. Spencer sees his ability to save directly to unsecured areas of the phone is disabled. Microsoft Intune offers Spencer the peace of mind that his personal information is isolated from organizational IT awareness. So, things like his call records, web browsing history, personal photos, and contacts are not visible to the bank's IT department. Implementing policies and programs rarely happens in isolation. Employees need to exchange information to collaborate and innovate on daily activities. However, as information is shared, vulnerabilities increase. Information barriers, or ethical walls, can also be put in place to help ensure potential conflicts of interest are managed seamlessly and information flows only between appropriate teams. For instance, separating research teams from investment bankers. Let's look at some of the ways that Microsoft 365 can help you securely share information while reducing the risk of accidental or intentional leaks. Spencer has finished updating the draft Fabricam IPO plan and wants to send it to legal for review. The plan contains information about the IPO that is highly sensitive and must be kept confidential. It is certainly not ready for the general public. He attaches the document. Spencer then encrypts the entire email. This encryption helps ensure that the email is only readable from the inbox of the directly intended recipients and that the attachment is also encrypted. If this document is downloaded and copied to a USB drive or an untrusted device, the document will remain protected. At the top, Outlook reminds Spencer how encryption will protect the email. The encryption can also prevent the recipients from forwarding the email. This applies to both internal and external recipients. This built-in encryption helps the bank's commercial deal team remain compliant by preventing intentional or accidental sharing of emails and information. Encrypted messages can be set to expire or be revoked as needed in line with data retention policies. And these encryption actions are logged and auditable to help meet compliance obligations. Woodgrove provides investment banking services not only to companies like Fabricam, where it is acting as a transfer agent, but they also offer wealth management services where analysts guide customers in making the quality investments for their goals. Accidental sharing of information between these divisions of the business can raise conflicts of interest and create bias in their judgment. Spencer, while working on the valuation of the Fabricam IPO, wants to ask a colleague her opinion. He knows Allie has lots of experience in this industry. When Spencer attempts to chat with her from Teams, he can no longer send information to her. The existing chat record is locked to read only, and he can't find her contact information in the user directory if he searches for her. He will later find out she got a new role with wealth management, informing consumers and investors about investments and can no longer interact with the investment banking group. Information barriers in Woodgrove's Microsoft 365 system have created digital enforcement of ethical walls, removing the easy access that makes Microsoft 365 a powerful tool for collaboration. Spencer writes an email to his senior management colleagues to update them on the IPO. He extracts information from the updated IPO plan. Then he quickly creates a new document. When he is ready to send the document, he notices that it is automatically labeled as IPO confidential. Microsoft 365 has added digital protections and watermarks to aid in the proper handling and disposal of printed copies. The bank has configured policies to automatically classify, label, and protect data based on its sensitivity. In this case, along with the classification label, the document is also automatically protected with rights-based permissions. This protection follows the data, ensuring it remains protected regardless of where it's stored or with whom it's shared. So, even if Spencer accidentally sent this to the wrong recipients, the receiver would not be able to view the content, saving the bank from a compliance incident or worse, becoming an accidental headline. Data protection can also be managed when documents like this are uploaded to a third-party app using Microsoft Cloud App Security, our cloud access security broker offering. Microsoft 365 information protection solutions help ensure that important information is only accessible by those who are authorized to receive and view the information, and that critical data is not accidentally released or deleted. Policies can be customized and leveraged to automatically secure data according to compliance needs. Microsoft also offers templates that make it easier to comply with common laws, such as General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, UK, Personally Identifiable Information Data, and PCI Data Security Standard, PCI DSS. The admin is creating a policy to detect U.S. financial data. Policies can be applied across Microsoft Office 365, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Exchange Online, and Microsoft SharePoint. This policy will watch for attempts to share U.S. financial data types outside Woodgrove Bank. This policy will send reports when sensitive data is shared. It could also block or require encryption. The new U.S. financial data policy has been created and starts in a testing status. Next, the administrator will work with data retention policies. Rules and regulations often require that documents be retained a specific amount of time. Accidental deletion of content covered by regulations can quickly become a complex legal problem. Microsoft 365 provides tools to aid in enforcing data retention policies. It retains not only the files, but versions of files covered by a policy. The document library where the IPO team keeps its shared files automatically applies a label that will retain the files on Woodgrove's system the required amount of time. This aids in keeping the bank in compliant with current regulations. The same labels that are applied to the IPO document library can be applied to individual content in other locations to aid compliance with retention policies as the information is shared on the bank's systems. Banks face a growing number of threats from increasingly sophisticated cyber attacks. Disclosure or loss of employee, customer, or deal data can erode trust in your institution and impact the share price. Microsoft Threat Protection is designed to help secure the modern organization from the evolving threat landscape by offering comprehensive, advanced, and integrated security across multiple attack vectors. Phishing is one of the most prevalent forms of attacks. These attacks have become more sophisticated. Fake, phishing emails are difficult for most users to recognize when the links and attachments are constructed to look legitimate. Solid user education and services to stop these attempts before the user can interact with malicious content are important steps in preventing these attacks from being successful. Here, Spencer has received an email that appears to be from the bank's general counsel. When Spencer opens the attachment, the text inside explains why the original attachment was removed. If this were sent to other users in the bank, it would also be removed from their inboxes. Spencer sees another email with an urgent message. As soon as he clicks the link, Office Advanced Threat Protection Safe Links activates. ATP Safe Links opens and detonates the link in a secured session to check for malicious content. It finds malicious content in the link and gives Spencer a warning notification that the link was malicious. This helps prevent malicious content, such as ransomware, from being downloaded to Spencer's computer proactively, preventing a data breach or credential harvest, and helping to save the bank from a potentially damaging and expensive breach. If Spencer or others fall victim to phishing or other attacks, the bank's IT team needs to be able to automatically respond and investigate quickly. Microsoft Threat Protection leverages one of the world's largest threat signals available from the Microsoft Intelligence Security Graph. Advanced automation powered by artificial intelligence, AI, to enhance incident identification and response aids security teams to resolve threats accurately, efficiently, and promptly. Machine learning also helps us to link together individual signals, then correlate related events to provide important context. The Microsoft 365 Security Center provides a centralized hub and specialized workspace to manage and take full advantage of Microsoft 365 intelligent security solutions. Should an attack happen, Microsoft Threat Protection automatically acts to protect the user and the entire organization. Here we see that one or more users have clicked a malicious link. Microsoft Threat Protection has automatically started an investigation and taken actions to protect that user and the other users in the bank. The emails containing the malicious links have been soft deleted. This means the links have been removed, and depending on the amount of malicious content in the message will be removed and placed in quarantine. This way, admins still have access to the message for any litigation or compliance requirements, but the threat to users and the organization is neutralized. Any users who manage to click the link before neutralization have been recorded. This gives the admins the ability to target education for these users. Automated incident response will be one of the most important elements of your security solutions. Automation can help mitigate more threats in real time, reduce the time for detection and recovery, and ultimately improve the efficiency, accuracy, and overall security for the organization. Just as important, it frees up time for the organization's key security operations to focus on more complicated problems and can contribute to lower costs for managing information security.
So so let me just recap what we have covered so far here. So the Microsoft 365 actually provides a holistic security that actually aligned to these four pillars. First one being the identity and also access management. It actually protects the user identities and also to control the access to the valuable resources based on your user risk level. Then you have the information protection, which helps to ensure the documents and also the emails are only seen by the authorized people. And threat protection, it actually protects against the advanced threat and also recover quickly when attacked. Then you have the cloud security, which helps to safeguard your multi-cloud resources. All right. So we actually do all these by helping enterprise businesses secure their corporate data and manage risk in today's mobile-first, cloud-first world. Right. Obviously, the Microsoft 365 E5 also helps to enable customers to digitally transform by unifying all your users' productivity, and also the enterprise security tools into a single suite that enables the modern workplace. So actually, to sum it all, the Microsoft security is very much an intelligent security built in and not bolted on. So it's simply a fact that in today's life, that security should be built in every layer of an enterprise. It should be secure by design. And this is an essential mantra for all the industrial companies that if we were to avoid any cyber chaos in the future. So thank you for tuning in. I will hand the floor back to Laylot.
Thank you so much, Melvin. So I have here a few questions on my end. So the first question we have here is our business is too small. Are we going to be impacted by cyber threats and phishing attacks?
Well, normally I would say that actually no business is too small. Normally this would actually be their first target because smaller businesses will actually not really think about security. Right, this is where the attacks will go to, and 95% of these attacks are actually going to the small businesses. So yeah, there is no business that is too small to have all these cybersecurity being implemented.
All right, thank you so much. Next question we have here for you, Melvin, is why do we need to add security features? I thought Microsoft Cloud, such as our subscription M365 Business, is already secured.
Right. Yes, you're actually right. As you can see, most of the slides earlier, you can see that most of these features, they are segmented. All right. There are different features for different areas. So you can consider Microsoft subscription is basically a turnkey product. All right. It does actually have all sort of a protection, but again, these are very much on server side, all right, and basic protection that doesn't protect you from human errors such as negligence, right? So hence, most of these add-ons is required to help to reduce your surface attack. and of course to add more, adding more to your security parameters. So this is the reason why you actually have to have additional securities. Does that answer the question?
And the next question that we have here is Microsoft Defender AV really a good as third-party antivirus solutions?
Well, if you ask me, then I would probably just tell you honestly is that most of the antivirus solution that you have out there, so there are a lot of features, right? If you look at Microsoft Defender ATP, they are also similar, but what it gives you is additional reporting tools, more centralized reporting tools, and also control. All right. Other solution may not actually give you that. Now, of course, using the ATP or any of the Defender for endpoints, you also have integration into what I mentioned earlier, the Azure Sentinel. All right. This is where the Defender for endpoints will actually give you more features. So partially, yes, it is like any other antivirus tools, but what you get is actually the reportings and also centralized controls. So there are, I would say, is an additional point to that.
Okay. And a follow-up question regarding that is, do you have assessment tools to check the security of the tenant?
Yeah, we actually do. So again, it depends really on what sort of assessment that you really want to do. In Microsoft, we actually have this tool called the Microsoft Security Assessment Tool. I think it should be at version 4.0 right now. So at the same time, each of these Microsoft tenant actually comes with a basic of secure scoring that can actually tells you what you need to do to increase your security of your tenant. And you also have the Security and Compliance Center where you can see all this information. So yeah, any Microsoft 365 tenant will have access to this tool for free. Most of these basic functions are adequate enough for you to run scorings, and you by using the scoring, you can actually determine what need to be done to protect your security posture. Yep.
All right. And the second to the last question that I have here is, what will happen if we go full cloud, productivity, applications, added security, then we got disconnected to the internet?
Well, at most time that we should have a fallback. All right. I mean, most of the users will have something to fall back on, especially on their mobile devices. Right. When I say mobile devices, is where they would actually, if their internet in the offices is down, then they could actually use their mobile devices for internet tethering. Right. And of course, most of the productivity applications that are activated on your computer, they don't really need the internet to work with. And if you already have your files on your PC, you can continue to work. And of course, all the basic necessary features that the tools for Microsoft Offices or any Microsoft product will actually run without internet, right? I mean, if it's down for half an hour to an hour or two, it is still fine, right? Most of this functionality, they actually requires that may actually requires access to internet. Uh, their settings is already downloaded to your PC, so you don't have to worry about it. So most configuration are already being cached offline. Right? There is no concern on that in case your security goes, your internet goes down, and nothing works. So yeah, I don't see any concern on that.
Thank you. And the next question that we have is, will my existing security devices work together with Microsoft 365 security?
Yep, definitely that will do. As I explained earlier on the Sentinel, um, this is something that you can use actually to allow certain integration with any of your existing appliance devices or any third-party security application as well. So all this can be done through the SDK or even the API calls. So yeah, the integration is already there. But do have a look out on the documentation. There could be possibly that certain application or certain vendors are not listed yet, but majority of them they are already on. Yeah.
And once again, congratulations to all the winners. And thank you everyone for joining. If you have additional questions or inquiries, you can either reach out directly to your account managers or email us at sales@phildata.com. For more information and updates, you can also follow our social media accounts on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Our social media handle as our OneFieldData. Once again, thank you everyone, and also thanks to our friends and partners from Rhipe. And have a great day. Have a great rest of the day.